Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh boy, my favorite show. Boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed. Propaganda. Be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. How dare you? That is so cool. That is so fun. Oh my god, dude. That's so big, dude. We gotta have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda. I'm right on the polling. I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring.
Hello. 10 people waiting. 1 second. The timer's on 1 minute before I'm beginning. I'll be right back.
Oh my god, dude.
Twitter isn't America.
So big,
very
dude.
true. That is very true. No, it's boring. Leave. I am boring. Get used to it. You should be used to me being boring already. You keep on coming back for, you know, for whatever reason. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's these huge guns I got right on my skinny arms. But yeah.
I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind. That's undisputed in my mind. Politics is more complicated than that. Waging political capital in an effective way. Boring. Politics is more complicated than that. That is so cool. That is so fun.
Hello. What? What do you want? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me? That's an old song. A real old song. There's a lot of stories like this popping up nowadays. Huh?
All right, so I...
David Packman. David Wackman. If you wanted a gun show, you would have been watching Ben Shapiro. Very true. Politics is more complicated than that, of course. Hello, XXX. Dead. Hi. What's up, Fate? Gassy Gorilla, Rapid Thunder. Sarah, an OG. Halo. That's all I could see for now. The unintelligence. But there's a lot of stories like this popping up now. Texas Republican mocks COVID and dies of it. A lot of them are dying. And it really does make me wonder how races are going to be affected by this. In like Florida, if there's like a swing county that has a representative, even like a state rep, that was decided by like 50... Is my voice low quality right now? Is that what you're saying? It's lo-fi? Let me look. Let me listen. Or is Fate just saying stuff? Let me hear it. I'll play it on my phone. It sounds normal. What do you mean low? I hate you. I hate you. Yeah, but if there's a race that is decided by a couple hundred votes and a bunch of Republicans die from COVID because they don't get vaccinated, how many races will actually switch because of that? With the numbers dying right now, you may realistically see a state like Florida. You know how Florida went with Al Gore and George Bush? A state like that, you can realistically think like COVID might play a role in a really tight election in one of these states. You don't know what lo-fi means? Usually like low... I don't know what the phi stands for, but it's like, it's not low quality, but it's like, lo-fi music is typically kind of like fuzzy and calming, I guess. Lo-fi studying music. How would I describe it? Who listens to music? Vaush bad, true. I want to give my take while watching this and using Vaush as the platform. And I want to explain Vaush's take a little bit. Let's see. I think I know what he's going to say, pretty much. Hasanabi. Abi. Where does the Abi come from? I really don't know. Hey, drop a like. You see that? Drop a like there. There's six likes and 21 people. You got to drop a like there. All right. Make it go up. See it in real time. If you drop a like, you'll see it go up in real time before I start the first segment for tonight. 1. Get it to 10. Needs to be 10. I'll be right. I'm going to get water. Yes, 9. 9 over 9. You know what's above 9? 10. 2 digits. Oh my god, 11. Okay. Perfect. Low fidelity. That makes sense. Woo. Ugh. But misspelled. Strong Bone, what's up? Richard, what's up? Sasha, what's up? Funny Male Rainbow, Vaush bad. So, Hassan, the political streamer, is under attack right now because he bought an expensive house in a really expensive part of California to live in, and he's a socialist. Therefore, he cannot buy expensive things. I have a problem with what Hassan did with his housing situation, not because of any like weird morality thing, but like I think it's generally dumb if you have a job where you can work from your house streaming and you're making millions of dollars based on your appearance and based on your persona as a socialist, anarchist, whatever. If you have the ability to make all that money from doing that, buying a house in a really expensive area makes 0 sense to me. I know he has his like family in there, which is great, but dude, for how much was it? $2.7 million. For that much money, you can buy a couple acres and a huge house. I'm sorry if you heard my bottle crack in the background. I have a plastic bottle right here. You can buy a huge house somewhere else in our country, even in Texas. That's why all these streamers move to Texas, because of lower housing costs and lower taxes. Like, when you have that money, buy land. Get some ownership of property so you can accumulate some form of, like, I don't know, land wealth. I just feel like you should do that. It's just so dumb to me. You don't need to live in LA to be with your celebrity. Like, I don't know what your like fellow streamer friends in LA. I just don't get it. That's my problem with it, dude. Anyway, I want to talk about Vaush's take here. I think his take is based on pragmatism and based on socialism being a movement of addition and not subtraction. And a lot of people who are socialist online, and also people who want to critique Hassan, don't really care about socialism growing. I'm not a socialist. I don't care. But I think Vaush's strategy is kind of the best way to go about it.
So recently, an instance of devastating hypocrisy hit the airwaves, rattling the socialist community to its core and throwing us into a pit of disarray and incongruity. And that would, of course, be the fact that Hassan Piker Abi bought a house. Now, don't get too excited. It's an expensive house. It is at $2.74 million. However, that is in West Hollywood dollars. And also, you have to live in Los Angeles to be in the house, which is, whew, okay? Hey, listen, if you want, I can sell you plots of land on Mercury, you know? I mean, hey, you can get, land is cheap out there. They're practically giving it away, all right?
Dude, it's just so dumb to me. It's so dumb to me. I'm sorry if people don't agree. I just think it's so dumb to buy a house in such an expensive area. You don't need to live there. You make money sitting in front of a freaking computer screen, dude. You steal content all day to make your money. Go buy a house somewhere else where you can just buy a bigger house and you can fit more of your family in there. Buy your family members' houses there. You'll still spend less money than when you buy a house in LA or whatever. Like, come on, dude. I just don't like it.
Anyway, he bought this house. Okay, it's a shiny house. It's very nice. It's certainly nicer than any house I've ever lived in. And some people are mad at
Tom?
this. Now, before I get into this, I want to make a couple of things clear because I'm in an unfortunate position where me expressing values I've held for years are going to get me accused of simping to Hassan to try to leech his audience. Which, to be clear, and I want to front this, yes, every time I mention Hassan on stream, I'm hoping his audience finds the video and subs to me and gives me money. To be totally clear, that is the case. But also, this is something that I've believed vocally the entire time I've been streaming. So this is just, so to be clear, both of these things are true. Okay, so anyway, people got mad about this, okay? Like, mad. And you know what they got mad about, right? I mean, you all know what they got mad about. I thought you hated the rich, but now your house is big. Why don't you live your principles and donate all of your money to charity?
Hey, if Hassan wants to live in the city. Don't do entire streams crying about the housing prices there. The people I care about with housing prices in LA are nurses that need to work in LA, are even friggin' cops, are city workers, sanitation workers, are doctors, are medical and people who are driving ambulances. If you're gonna be a firefighter, those are the people who I care about being able to live in these cities. I don't want to hear, and this is just a personal thing. I don't care about the morality or whatever. It's just the personal thing for me. Those are the people I care about. When it comes to your personality, you're crying about the LA housing prices all day on your streams. And then you have this persona of the socialist thing online. I just think it's a little bit unlikable. Like I think that one quality is a little bit unlikable. Overall, I do like Hassan. I like him. I like his role on the platforms here. I do like what he does. I think having him be on Twitch and be such a big streamer for progressive causes is an overall net positive. But the thing is, this is just one aspect that I find unlikable and out of touch. It's a personal thing, I guess. I don't know. The numbers don't make sense to me. I just care more about the workers that need to live in the cities. I know another rich person would have bought that house, but I don't know. He's a whatever.
Stuff like that, right?
Socialist,
so on and so on.
anarchist.
And these are criticisms that should be really familiar to
Yeah, he
you
talks about the
because
housing
they're the same
prices in LA
criticisms
a
that
lot.
Bernie Sanders got. Remember, 3 houses, Bernie Sanders, millionaire Bernie Sanders.
Okay, Bernie Sanders being a millionaire owning 3 houses is different because if you're a millionaire and you're 78 years old, that is a world of difference from being 20 something. Or did he just turn 30? I don't know. But being in your 20s and being a multimillionaire, and not only being a multimillionaire, but being able to buy a multi-million-dollar house in a very expensive place to live. Those are 2 different things. Bernie Sanders was actively in politics his entire life. I think that's not really a good comparison. I mean, I guess, but oh my God, I don't know. I feel like Vaush make fun of Jimmy Dore for having a nice house? I feel like, can someone remind me of that? Because I know it came out, people made fun of Jimmy Dore for talking like a radical working class hero from his studio while he lived in a 1 point whatever million dollar house in California. I feel like Vaush had a different standard for how he approached I feel like everybody had a different standard for how they approached Jimmy Dore buying an expensive house versus Hassan buying a different house. No matter what, I think it's funny. Like, when you're a model, Hassan's a model who wore anarchist shirts while being a model. It's just fun. Like, I don't know. It is a good meme, I guess.
Bernie Sanders wants to make life better for every American. But I can't help but notice that the 500-year-old senator who sold a best-selling book has a lot of money. You know? Remember that time AOC was in a nice dress and it was like rented for a photo shoot in a magazine? Remember that? And like conservatives were like, curious, you want to tax people, but you're wearing an expensive dress. It's like, oh my God. Look, these criticisms come from 2 places, okay? From one place, they come from like bad faith liberals, okay? They're people who dislike socialists, but find our arguments unassailable and our appearances, just beyond reproach. So they come up with bad faith, vaguely gesturing at imagined hypocrisy arguments, because they just don't, either because if you're running against them in a presidential election, then you have that angle, and if you just don't like them, you don't like them. Arguments from hypocrisy are always really, really weak by like default, unless the hypocrisy that you're underlining meaningfully destroys the concept that's being delivered. So let me give you an example, okay? If a person says, obesity is an epidemic and we should probably eat healthier, but they are themselves fat, does pointing out their fat really address the argument? Not really. I mean, you can if you want to be mean. I mean...
This is a loaded example that Vaush uses here because I feel like, what if you're a bad person and you say other people should be good people? Vaush said if you're fat and you say people should not be fat, or obesity is a bad thing, is that hypocritical or whatever because you still believe in a better world? But if you're a bad person and you think people should be good people and you're not living the values that you say should be I don't know, respected and adored, which is like working class, which is being very, you don't have to do like private charity, but being very charitable in general, like those types of things. I don't like the analogy he uses there because I think it falls apart pretty easily, to be honest.
It's a strategy, but it doesn't like address the argument, But let's say that you are talking with your significant other and you say, this house has been so messy. It's so messy around here. We should clean it up more, okay? So here's what we need to do, okay? You should clean up Monday through Sunday, and I'll clean up when I can. And now, the argument that you could make is that the hypocritical distribution of assigned work is undermining the validity of the argument, which is that they should both contribute to cleaning the house. Does that make sense? Maybe a little bit of an inarticulate argument, but the point is that hypocrisy doesn't always destroy an argument. In fact, it often doesn't. Sometimes it does, but it often doesn't. But the thing is, in this case, this isn't even hypocrisy.
Yeah, how sincere are they about what they advocate for? But Vaush's overall take here is gonna be, and he said this many times, he has said it many times, he wishes if you are a socialist, progressive, whatever content creator, and you talk about how important it is to empower workers and how important it is to help the weak, Vaush hopes that you're going to use that money in a very good way, but if you don't, he doesn't care, because Vaush wants his idea of a socialist movement to be very accepting of others and to be mainstream. So if you are a celebrity and you support what Vaush supports, he'd rather you do that and not actually help it all through like your own pockets than donate and not use your platform for advocating for the same issues. So to Vaush, Hasan just talking about these issues with his big platform and his normie appeal and his model status and his GTA plays, him talking about these issues with that platform is good enough to Vaush. He doesn't really care about the personal fulfillment because he's a consequentialist. That's what Vaush is, and he wants overall, he wants his movement to grow. And if you say, if you're a socialist, you must give money away to whatever, or you're not a good one, then you're going to be cutting people out of the equation that could have helped your movement overall.
I don't know how many times I have to repeat this, but socialists don't usually say stuff like, you can't own a home. It's immoral to own a home. If you have money, you should donate all of it. Certainly there are some people who say this. I don't think I've said this. Pretty sure Hasan hasn't said this either. Usually the argument socialists have is that
nobody is saying you can't own a home and you have to donate all your money, but you want to see, like, don't you want to see an effort? Like, I feel like you just want to see an effort that's a little bit past what's another streamer, XQC or whatever, QXC, or wait, no, what's that one person's name? Something bigger than somebody who isn't a proclaimed political commentator or whatever. You want to do more,
we should tax
I guess.
people more. There should be wealth taxes and inheritance taxes and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And one thing about giving away charity, I actually agree with the idea that you shouldn't be forced or you shouldn't feel compelled to give to charity, because the systemic fixes, and I use this argument for Bernie Sanders' wealth, if I give away 80% of my money, let's say Hasan gives away 80% of his money because he's rich, so he gives away a couple $1 million. Putting a couple million extra dollars into the system without everybody paying in more and without the government changing holistically isn't gonna really help anybody. It's gonna be like pouring water into a bathtub that has holes in it, or like a bucket that has holes in it. It's not gonna fill anything up. It's not gonna help anybody. Unless if you fix the overall systemic problems we face. So I do agree he shouldn't be compelled, or he shouldn't feel that he needs to give away his money or that he needs to buy a cheaper house or a smaller house. He has his family in that house. That's great. But again, you just assume some people are going to give a little bit of an effort to the causes that they talk about so much. Because I know people who do spend a lot of their time working for these causes, who don't make a lot of money, who still find the time to be out there and volunteering and donating money and donating food and all this stuff. And they work and make $12 an hour. So I'm thinking, like, yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird, man.
And
wait, $3 million isn't... I don't care if $3 million isn't that much for a house in Cali. You could have bought a house somewhere else. I'm sorry. Like, I understand what you're saying. It's a bad price for a house, but he complains about it all the time, and he knows he can move somewhere else if he wanted to. He is choosing to do that. He's choosing to dump more money into a worse situation that is being driven up by high demand and low supply and a bunch of other factors. It's like with the housing market in California. He knows he's going into that situation. I don't like that argument because, like, dude, if you're a rich person from rural America and you go to a city, are you therefore no longer a rich person because you have to pay more for housing? You have to pay, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
As I understand it, to my knowledge, Hasan pays his taxes. So,
yes, people like Hasan, and I know it wouldn't matter because other people are just gonna stay there. But they should move so that more people who actually need to live in these areas can live in these areas. Like I said before, workers that need to work in these areas.
There's this debate, bro, obsession.
That's okay. I don't want to be all private property eccentric or whatever, but other movements know how to accumulate wealth in some sense, know how to buy land and own things. And I think that is still something that needs to be practiced. So when I see somebody who is an influential content creator, like Hassan, making bad financial decisions, in my opinion, bad financial decisions with his housing choices, that also annoys me. It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about morality. I'm just saying that annoys me. I'm sorry.
Taxes. So
yes, I did say he should move, like every other streamer does that makes millions of dollars from their bedrooms. Yes, I don't know why this is a hot, like, come on. He's not a freaking emergency medical driver in Los Angeles that needs to be saving lives. He's a streamer. Yeah, he can move. Okay.
You know, there's this debate, bro, obsession in some communities with addressing hypocrisy.
I know no worker can afford it. That isn't the point I'm making.
Over the actual underlying worth of what's happening. Because from a consequentialist perspective, Hassan's not really doing any harm in the world, but there are some people who are more obsessed with the idea of holding people to account.
I'm not talking consequentially like Vaush is. Like when I make my gripes, it's literally just a personal thing. I don't...
Like, I'll give you an example.
I don't know.
A community of people who think that it's more acceptable for a person to eat meat if they don't believe animals have any moral worth than it is for a vegetarian to
Bro, I had the... Never mind.
eat eggs, cheese, and dairy,
I'm not gonna do it.
if they do believe animals have any moral worth. In that case, you actually value people's consistency above the actual harm they do, which is an insane perspective. But some people actually do, at least selectively, go by that kind of overriding logic, which is a great way to avoid actually criticizing somebody. So you have those people. And then you have lefties who are attacking...
Tom, don't compare me to the Shapiro argument when he said people should just move and sell their freaking houses when they flood the flooded houses to Aquaman or whatever from H. Bomber guy. Don't even straw man me like that.
On over this, which to be fair, there are actually quite a lot of them. The left has always been a circular firing squad. And man, I've talked about these people before with like ContraPoints. You know how ContraPoints makes like a lot of money off Patreon? And there are people who actually get...
Yeah, I agree. Some people would criticize him if he went somewhere to pay lower taxes, if he tried to avoid taxes or property costs by going to, I don't know, Texas. I don't disagree with that. I'm just like, I feel like Anthony Fantano. Do you know Anthony Fantano, the music critic? The music critic, he reviews a bunch of albums. He gave My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy a 6 out of 10. Might have heard of him. His caption of every video says, guys, this is literally just my opinion. I'm not making any statements about Hassan. I literally said I think he's a good guy. I think his overall effect is good, but it's you know, it's just my opinion. It's not deeper than that. It's not really a deep thing that I'm talking about. It's just a preference.
Mad over it. They're like,
I've gone too far right, man. You've changed.
If you make that much money and you're a socialist, you should be doing something with it. And hey, you're right. Hassan should be doing something if he's a socialist with that much in the way of wealth. Thankfully, he's the largest socialist streamer, to my knowledge, on Earth. So he made his money from the advocacy. Imagine if you're a socialist and you write a book and it's a pro-socialism book and you sell that book and you get rich selling that book and people get mad at you and say that because you got rich selling that book that you're somehow a hypocrite. It's like, you got rich from advocating for the thing people are accusing you of. Yeah, it's very, very silly. I mean, it's really, really, really silly stuff. There are, from the bad faith liberal end of things, the reason why this type of criticism is so consistent is because it's a really, really good way of delegitimizing.
I'm not saying Hassan should live in a poor area. You don't need to live in a poor area to live in an area that doesn't have terrible housing prices. You don't need to move to a poor area. Rural areas are not poor. Suburban areas are not poor. Mountainous areas are not poor. I'm saying he should be making he should be owning land if he's going to be paying that much money. I feel like I just think it's not a good, I don't know, dude. I guess people don't value, I guess I value land ownership too much. I don't know. I just think that's a better thing than to bet on the housing market of LA or whatever. I'm not saying he should be moving to a poor area, like a literal poor area that's falling apart.
And hamstringing socialists without actually addressing their arguments. You delegitimize them by getting people to believe they're a hypocrite, which they're not. I mean, Bernie Sanders wasn't for owning 3 houses, but they got a lot of people believing that. And additionally, the implicit argument is that the only moral way to be a socialist is to be disempowered.
No, I'm saying, okay, if you spent $3 million, if you spend $3 million in a rural area, you're going to get a couple acres of land plus a huge house, 3 times the size of the one that he bought. If you buy a house in an area that isn't as dense with the population, I just think that's a better thing to do with your money at that point. But what does somebody say about? No, renting it out. I don't want him to become a landlord. That's not what I'm saying. I think cops and nurses need the $1 million home. Yes, Tom. That's exactly what I said. I'm not talking about priorities or anything, because Hassan does full streams complaining about his housing search.
Howard, which no, I want everyone to be a socialist, and as long as we live in a world with millionaires,
I don't care about the physical land. I don't care. Never mind.
Billionaires, mansions, cops and soldiers, politicians, and hedge fund managers.
I get it that he likes Cali. Yes, he likes Cali. People like diamonds. I don't think either are good things to buy.
I want everyone to be a socialist, okay? Everyone, from every point, bottom to top. And I do not want people to be socialists.
Yeah, he should maximize the money he's spending in general. You make a lot of money talking about these causes. I don't know, just to be maximizing your money, like, in this current system.
And then think, oh, well, now I can't be successful, because if I do, the circular firing squad on the left is going to tear
It's
me
just
apart.
like, it's like, imagine you're making all this money and you spend time in your job where you play GTA role plays and talk about socialism, and you're like, guys, the housing market in LA is so messed up, bro. I'm having so many problems. Like, dude, yes, we understand you're having problems in your $1 million house search, and you're telling your chat a bunch of unproven stuff about why you couldn't get the houses you wanted. Like, my priorities are not with that, and your priority shouldn't be either. Like, when it comes to that, spend your money on the empty void. Why Detroit? Are you just saying Detroit because you assume because it's a poor area? I don't mean poor. I just mean cheaper.
No. Contra talked about this in Envy. This is a horribly counterproductive way to go about things. Can you imagine if people disregarded Marx because he hypocritically accepted the help of Engels, a factory owner? Can you imagine? Like, seriously, he was a factory owner. And by the way, Hassan makes his money streaming and YouTubing. Okay, this is like the least exploitative way of making money. Seriously, in terms of like wealth accrued relative to employees strangled, this is a relatively high ratio of moral profitability compared to Engels, the factory owner.
Trees. You're right. It does not have to align with my values. It's literally just an opinion. All this is an opinion. I'm not talking about anything deeper than that. Than my preferences. I'm not talking about morality. I'm not talking about right versus wrong. I'm talking about what do we prefer. What do I prefer? It's not that deep.
Das Kapital? No, this was funded with bourgeois money. Like, come on, Jesus. Just I tell you, there are people who say, like, I wish there was one leftist billionaire to fund leftist projects. I say that, by the way. But when a lot of people say that, no, you don't. Because if there was a leftist billionaire, all you would do is shit talk them. All you would do is shit talk them.
Hey, all I'm saying is we really let Tom Steyer down. Tom Steyer was our hero.
You haven't donated.
He was a class traitor ready to save us, and we did not help him. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Tom Steyer was waiting for us to come. Oh my! I wonder what he's doing right now.
Every cent, you live in a big house. Like, they would never do it. Yeah, like Sake Tanuki, the bane of the broader online socialist community's existence. They would tear this person limb from limb, and we would never get anything done. Okay, hold on, real quick. I can see it in chat. I'm not attacking Hassan for having money, but I mean, it's a $3 million house. Does it really have to be a $3 million house? No, but he wanted one. I don't care. At some point,
that's fine. Nobody wanted one. I don't care. I do care. Vaush doesn't care. I just think it's dumb.
It's fucked up to spend so much money on something like this. No.
Hypocritical? Is he hypocritical? I'm not saying he's hypocrite. I think pragmatically, you should be okay with Hassan buying a big house. Because you should be accepting of anybody to join your movement, because movements need to be about addition, not subtraction. But in my ideal world, Hassan would have not spent all this money on such a small not a small house, but he could have, Kanye West, he has like acres. He has many acres of land in like Wyoming in the mountains. All right. I just personally take issue with that. And I don't like his focus on it during streams and the priority of all the discourse, and I'm just talking about this for views, obviously. But like the housing issues that a socialist content creator should be complaining about I just don't personally want to hear them complaining about their $1 million house search. If I want to hear somebody cry about housing prices for a couple $1 million, I will go on TV, a box TV, a really old box TV. I will get a VHS tape rerun package of HG. I can't even talk. It's not HD. It's a while ago. HGTV, House Hunters. I will watch House Hunters. I will just binge watch House Hunters my entire life if I wanted that.
No, I don't agree. Spending lots of money on houses to live in is not the backbone of the exploitation of the capitalist economy. You're individualizing and personalizing the problems with capitalism. The problems with capitalism aren't the fact that wealthy people exist or that there are large houses and realtors who sell them. Those things aren't the
yeah, I agree with
that makes the
Vaush,
system
mostly.
exploitative. It's a horrible, bastardized, incestuous relationship between all the intertwined systems of political and economic power that guarantee more political power to the wealthy, and then reify and reinforce systems that privilege the wealthy and allow them to accrue further wealth at the expense of the rest of the people. But that has nothing to do with whether or not a person who's already wealthy buys a big house. That's just, they're not, these just aren't connected in my mind, you know? Or if you want to do a trade-off, $3 million house, but also Hasan reaches millions of people every week with socialist messaging. I don't know. I mean, you can do the math on that if you want, but that seems like a favorable trade to me. Now, that's not to say that it's not good for people to be as benevolent and generous and philanthropic with their money as possible. But I don't think that it's...
Eat the rich. That's one thing. Oh, that's a point. That's a point I missed earlier. Validated, classified. Thank you for bringing it up. Yes, Tom, you are correct. Socialists need to be living on the streets to be real socialists. The rhetoric he uses during his chats, and you know what a lot of people use, and this happened with Bernie too. Bernie did stop saying millionaires and billionaires. He switched it to only billionaires. He did do that. He did stop saying millionaires in his criticisms of the rich. That didn't not happen. When people attacked him for it, that is something that happened in reality. Uncle Jank. True. But yeah, when you talk like eat the rich, it should be more more focused, you know? Because a lot of it is disdain for people who have more. And I don't know. Is it eat the rich or eat the bad boys that exploit workers or whatever?
That's a hypocritical argument. Like, everyone should be that way, not socialists especially. Like, if you hold...
Oh, I don't mean to be a DGGer. I hate DGG, but Destiny made a video. Actually, I don't think he ever released it, but there's a Destiny video where he goes through Hasan's entire housing market thing and goes through all the sources, and Destiny disproves all the points Hasan made because Hasan was making points to fit his like narrative on what was happening in California. So that was like I hate to use that because I hate DG. Oh, I hate them so much. But
socialists in power, to a standard which is different, there will be people who don't meet that standard who will be disinclined from being invested in socialist arguments because they know that even though their behavior
get racially profiled by the cops in Hollywood,
even if their behavior improves, the way they're treated will go down.
I don't know if he would. He does he? He dresses like he looks like a famous person. If I saw him walking through Hollywood and I didn't know who he was, I would just assume he's a famous actor or something.
Which to me just seems highly counterproductive. My recommendation.
Yeah, I am butthurt about DGG. They're a bunch of idiots, sycophants. They are weak. They are baby.
Exactly the same as it has always been. If you want to encourage left-leaning, powerful people to do good stuff with their money, do so. But do not do so in this bitter, half-assed,
addition, not subtraction. Vaush is correct here.
Reasonable about it. Hey,
overall,
I think it'd be nice if we did more charity.
agree.
I think it'd be nice if we did this. I think it'd be nice if we did that. Just be reasonable about it.
DGG
but it's
loves
so
you.
obvious how spite.
If you watch me and you're from DGG, you're okay because obviously you're cool. But you know,
of this behavior is because it's not a Hasan's income has been a consistent thing. You all knew he made millions a year, right? You can do the math on how many subs he gets. It's not like a hidden thing. He was always rich. I mean, it was known. But now the hate comes? Like, this is clearly not like a matter of holding people to a consistent standard of behavior, and more so a matter of I don't like opulence in the hands of people on the left. And I just don't think that's a good argument. I want to be really clear so everyone knows, okay? While I am nowhere near as wealthy as Hasan is, okay? If I was, yeah, I would probably buy a nice big house too, because it would be shiny, and I would want it. And you can complain about that all you want.
Hear what
but
else
your
he
complaints
wants to say.
should probably be leveled not at hypocrisy, but rather at sort of the general enemy and inequality of our society. Because at no point over the course of my stream have I said it's immoral.
See, okay, where this leads, it kind of puts a weird taste in my mouth. So, socialist content creator, whether it be like Vaush or Hasan, so they talk about how inequality in society is bad. But if they get rich, I don't know. I guess they're gonna buy a really big mansion just because they want to. We couldn't fix capitalism, boys. We couldn't fix it. Sorry, I guess I'm buying the Bezos mansion. I just gotta do it. I just want it. I'm just fulfilling my potential in capitalism. Like, come on, dude. Don't judge me. Like, I understand my entire career is built off of talking about these issues, but we didn't fix them holistically. So why individually should I take any personal sacrifices to live up to my own values? I just don't like that. I don't like the way that logically follows. So every socialist that makes a lot of money can now, without having anything on their conscience, they could be like, all right, laying down the dollar bills. I want that diamond necklace. I want the Yeezys. I want the iPhone 500 Pro. I want the Apple Watch Diamond Gold Edition. I want the Gucci hat, the Gucci flip-flops. I want all of this. I don't care if it functions as an individual thing. If individuals change, if I individually started today, started littering by myself, if I started throwing plastic bottles in the ocean and in the woods, if I started throwing styrofoam cups, styrofoam, I can't talk right now, styrofoam cups, if I started just polluting the entire world by myself, me individually, I have a little impact. I have a small impact, but is it moral for me to say whatever? Big companies are going to keep on polluting at a larger scale. Therefore, if I do it, it doesn't really matter because whatever, I'm not going to fix the overall system of pollution. So now it's okay if I pollute. It's okay if I throw bottles in wherever. Like I just don't know if that follows. If that makes sense. I can just do whatever I want to the earth because companies are going to be doing it anyway. And I'm not going to fix capitalism. I'm not going to be able to fix the current system by not polluting. Therefore, whatever, I'm just going to pollute because I want to. Because I want to.
For rich people to buy big houses. It is immoral to buy big McMansions. That is immoral. Those gigantic empty houses that look like showrooms that you can buy up in northern Texas for like $1.5 million that are roughly the size of like a Walmart parking lot. That is immoral. But this is a West Hollywood house, so that's probably not necessarily an issue here. That is morally wrong. To be clear, those houses suck. Oh yeah, I've been inside one once, and oh my, it really does feel like you're in a showroom or like a car, like like the car display rooms in the nice car dealerships. What makes it immoral? Because they're gross. Just we're not getting into this right now. We're trying to be pointed with this. Do you not think class interests interfere with socialism?
There's that one picture of him with all the fancy necklaces on, and he has a shirt that says anarchism on it. That was kind of funny.
Politics? They can, but if that's the case, criticize the way it interferes with socialist politics. Now, here's something that you could criticize. Let me give you like an in. If you want to criticize Hasan for hypocrisy, here's what you should do, or any person on the left, okay? Let's say that you have a small streamer who says, yeah, tax the rich, cancel inheritance, capital gains tax, and all that, And then that's what they believe, and they get to be a quite large streamer. And then they kind of soften up on all those positions, Oh, we don't really need like that much higher taxes. Oh, real estate taxes are fine where they are, really. Or actually, in the neighborhood where I'm in, they're kind of, now that I think about it, I don't really think that like this is reasonable tax. I mean, like when behavior like that begins, please criticize them for that, okay? That is valid criticism, but that's not because they're being rich. That's because their values have been corroded by their material interests, okay? Now, to my knowledge, what Hasan's doing here doesn't really conflict with anything that he said on stream, except for maybe like a bad faith misinterpretation of statements that he's made, like, ha, fuck the rich, but then he's rich, and it's like, ha, now you're rich. Like, okay, sure, congratulations. I said fuck white people. I'm white. I mean, what are you gonna do? Hasan has literally said he should be taxed more. Yeah, and I should be taxed more. By the way, I should be taxed more. He should be taxed more. We should both be taxed more. Please, we should both be taxed more. Absolutely. However, if I am to be taxed more, I would like it to be through income tax and not through the god-awful, what is it, FICA tax? What is it called? The self-employment tax that the employer pays 7.5% of, but if you're independent, you pay the whole 15%. That thing sucks, okay? Do it more through income tax. Pump that up, okay? Don't... yeah, appropriately.
I want to hear somebody rebut my example with pollution, individual pollution. If I throw a bunch of plastic in the ocean, it doesn't matter because big companies are going to dump oil, millions of gallons of oil in the ocean. So why does it matter if I throw water bottles in there if I want to? Because I'm not going to be, I'm not really hurting the environmentalist cause by individually throwing that bottle in the ocean because the entire system isn't going to change with pollution and waste. But as an environmentalist, it's okay if I throw a bottle in there because I can't change it. So if it's more convenient for me because I want to just conform, like, I don't know, I just don't
distribute the relationship between these different tax brackets. Increase capital gains tax. You know why? I don't have any stock. Do that, okay? I don't have any stock, so just pump up the capital gains tax.
I don't know. You know what? I'm done with this. A lot of hot takes. Many things people will disagree with, but I'm gonna put this on my channel. Hopefully nobody unsubscribes. Because it's just my opinion. And I don't know. It's rough out here, dude. Good thing I'm not like a full-time streamer, so I could make all these hot takes about these big people. Because I do lose subscribers for all this stuff. I feel like people hold back from like those hot takes. Maybe, but I even said I hate DGG in this. I made points attacking Vaush, Hassan, and DGG. No audience is out there that's gonna like what I said. Like, come on, dude. And Jimmy Dore? Oh my god. Firing shots at everybody tonight. The closest argument I have in support of yours. All right, Jimmy Dore time. I need a 2-minute break. Okay. I wonder how Tom McDonald's doing tonight. He's probably being cute like Tom McDonald usually does. What do I think about Vaush? Just take on large houses?
To the stratosphere, make it 40%.
Oops. I don't know. I think Vaush's general disposition, is that the right word? I don't know. Vaush's general approach is pragmatic. He wants to grow the movement. If you make being a progressive socialist harder, then you're hurting your cause. So Vaush is like, I don't care if somebody buys a big house as long as they're on my side, basically. If you're on my side, I don't care what you do. Which is correct, politically speaking. That's how you win politics. Debate me on your pollution stance. Tom, hop on tomorrow night or Monday night. If you're streaming, we could talk. I'm gonna do this one Jimmy Dore segment, then I have to then I have to go to bed. I have a 10-mile run tomorrow morning. Is this a live show?
Establishment. Why? Because Bernie.
Oh,
So I was-
no. Okay. I hope the audio isn't too bad on here. Vaush's general approach is to say something bad about Destiny, then to copy it, then to copy his position. Okay, true. Sometimes. All right, I need water real quick. I already drank all my water. Yum. Vaush is a large guy who needs a large house. He eats a whole chicken for lunch. Live. What? Oh no. Oh no, Vaush. I know that's true. I've seen it happen. I saw it across the entire country. Cooking stream? No. I don't know. I don't know why I made a squeaky voice there. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Will this be a segment of some sort? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Who am I? Where am I? How am I? Let's see. How many people are watching? I have to look on my phone because this computer's not good enough. Bathtub stream. Oh no, 38. Thanks for hanging out. The biggest difference about Vaush and Destiny I care about is Vaush is openly doomer and harsh about climate change. Destiny barely mentions it because poor people don't care. Destiny goes hard on anti-vaxxers though, which is kind of kind of nice. It feels good. It feels real good when he rips in. Oh my god, dude. I can't ever say that stuff really, so I'm happy he does. The way he rips, oh my god. All right. So, driving stream. I don't know about that one. Okay, so a little bit ago, Bernie Sanders was on Crystal and Kyle and Friends, whatever that show's called. Okay, see you, Tom. Rose Wrist, I'll have to check that out. Okay, the Dylan Burns Prime Kai drama. The one thing I got kind of upset about watching that was Yum. That was good. Gatorade. The one thing I didn't like is it was at one point Hans, Dylan Burns, and Destiny talking. And Hans is a good guy. When they're talking about this very deep and serious personal issue, in front of 10,000 whatever thousand people, a lot of people, Hans being a good guy and being friends with Katarana or Kat, whatever her name is, he said maybe we should take this offline so we can talk about this in private. And Dylan Burns laughed at Hans basically and made fun of him like on screen, and I thought that was really crappy. It did seem like they were using it for some type of content, no matter what they say. Either they were using it for content, or that's Susan Sarandon's excuse. Yeah, either they were using it for big content, or they're so desensitized from being content creators that they don't understand how bad that looked having that scene online. Hans was on an apology tour after realizing she lied. Oh, I haven't looked into it any further from that stream, so I'll have to watch your coverage of it then. But I just thought it was weird because, yeah, the way Dylan handled, the way he handles his entire show is about theatrics, though. It's about WWE, reality television. Anyway, a couple weeks ago, Bernie Sanders was on Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. So Crystal Ball and Kyle Kulinski's podcast. But one person was missing, Kyle Kulinski. So Bernie Sanders' team did not want Kyle Kulinski there for the interview. So it was Crystal Ball interviewing Bernie Sanders, a one-on-one interview on Crystal, Kyle, and Friends, but only Crystal and Friends because Kyle wasn't there. Kyle Kulinski was really upset about this. Realistically, it was probably because of the really, really, really not only uncharitable, but downright offensive things Kyle Kulinski has said about Bernie Sanders over and over and over again. Kyle Kulinski basically lost all of his political connections that he barely had from being a YouTube content creator. And Crystal Ball, being a professional, maintained connections that allowed her to get this interview with Bernie Sanders. So the title of this Jimmy Dore segment is Bernie Kicks Host Off Podcast and Embarrasses Himself. So let's go through it. Jimmy Dore, my boy. I always love Jimmy Dore, as you know, my favorite content creator. Not really. Let's see what he has to say about the situation.
So I was supposed to be on Kyle and Crystal, and I don't know if you know what happened. But they did that thing called canceling me without telling me I was canceled and then booked somebody else, meaning Jenk's nephew. And then they acted like I was a dick because I wanted them to tell me they were canceling me or something. Do you remember that? Kyle said, "How can I tell you I was canceling you? I was busy doing the show you were supposed to be on." Which is kind of like saying to your wife, "Honey, I couldn't call you."
I forgot. With all that Jimmy Dore drama when he called Anna, what's her last name? I forgot her last name. But it came out that he was like really, he basically like harassed her or whatever, and he made it public. When that entire feud was happening with Jenk and all these things, Kyle Kalinske and Crystal Ball, they didn't want to get involved in it. And Kyle Kalinske looked pretty bad in this entire thing. But Jimmy Dore was going to be on Kyle and Crystal and Friends or whatever, Crystal and Kyle and Friends. And they just canceled him without telling him. They started doing a show without Jimmy Dore with Hassan, Kasparian. Yeah, Anna Kasparian. Kasparian. But they were doing a show with Hassan, Crystal and Kyle were. And they couldn't tell Jimmy that they canceled on him because they were doing the show with Hassan. So after that show, oh my God, after that show, they messaged Jimmy Dore, hey, sorry, we're not going to do this.
I was busy fucking your sister. What? What do you want me to do? I called you immediately after I was done fucking your sister. Aren't I a good guy? So a funny thing...
She's nice.
A funny thing happened. This is all... A funny thing happened. Bernie Sanders was set to go on the Kyle and Crystal show.
Yeah, so this episode is a little bit bittersweet for me because, I love the fact that you got to talk to Bernie, and I have full faith and confidence in your abilities. I know you're going to do an amazing job, but I'm not in this interview, and there's a reason why I'm not in this interview. So, you could probably give the timeline better than me, but they reached out to you and basically said, yeah, we'll do an interview under the condition it's only you. Correct?
So Bernie said, I'll do an interview on Kyle and Crystal, but only if Kyle's not there. Now remember, you can't burn bridges with politicians. Here you go.
Yes, so that was, we actually didn't reach out to them.
See, you say that, but I feel like months ago you did reach out to them and invite them. And now, like months later, they finally responded and they were like, sure, but only you.
I actually can't, you're probably right, because probably at the beginning,
right.
at the beginning of the podcast, they probably did reach out, but it has been, that request
been
has
months,
long
yeah.
expired. So they reached out, that was the very first thing they led with when they reached out to me, was like, want to do this interview, but really want it to be just you. They were also kind of open on whether it would live here or with Breaking Points. So it wasn't just you that they didn't want, it was also Sagar that they didn't want.
You made it seem like...
That is funny. They didn't want Kyle, they didn't want Sagar, and they wanted to set the terms for their interview, and we just all went along with it. We let Bernie dictate.
You need to make connections in a political arena. And if you don't trust people, you're not going to work with people in general. You need to be trustworthy, and you need to know people, and you need to let people know you're going to be able to get the job done in a way that's going to be conducive to success for you and your movement. So if you prove that you are not a viable option to help anybody, they are not going to rely on you. They are going to actively go against you. This is real life 101. If you are unlikable, if you are actively bad at what you do, if you are making dumb statements and calling someone like Bernie Sanders weak, dumb, and inexperienced or unknowing about the political process, if you are making those claims and one of Bernie Sanders' staffers watches your show, of course they aren't going to want you asking questions. Why in the hell would they want you asking questions with Bernie Sanders? Of course they're going to choose Crystal Ball, who is actually a professional.
Take the terms of his interview. He'd say, fuck Kyle. Bernie asked Kyle if he would sit in the corner while Bernie fucked his show.
That's a little funny. I can't curse, as you know. But Kyle Kalinske called Bernie Sanders a CUCK on multiple occasions. And with Kyle's show, Bernie kind of CUCK'd Kyle with Crystal Ball on Kyle's show, which is kind of funny, I guess.
Apparently, Kyle said yes. Let's listen.
It was relatively non-negotiable that they wanted to talk
Yeah,
to you.
because Kyle Kalinske, even with his flaws, is a grown-up.
It was like a hard line kind of, like, sure, we'll do it, but this is the condition. Yes. So...
And he's not going to deny Crystal Ball the chance to interview him anyway.
Am I butthurt over that? Yes, I'm very butthurt over that. I supported Bernie.
But Bernie told you before the interview, right, Kyle? He didn't tell you after the interview like you did to me, right? At least he told you before. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure.
More than anybody in 2016, more than anybody in 2020, I got him on Joe Rogan. That's, you could talk to Vaush here, his campaign manager. I'm the one who set all that up.
Yeah.
So
I think that's fair.
to sort of be thrown under the bus in a way, and whether it's
I bumped my desk. I am sorry. Imagine doing a live show React Andy.
Sagar or me. Sagar, he'll even tell you he's more Bernie.
I see, Rue. I think you messed up in your typing there. Vaush is 100 times more intelligent than Vaush. That's why I switched to him and away from Kyle.
He's ideological enemy than I am.
Yeah.
And so to be somebody who's more ideologically aligned with him and supported him as much as I did, and for him to just be like, I'm gonna kick you off your own show, that's done. I didn't like that. I was talking to Korn about it. He was like, really? How would you do that? I was like,
But you let him fucking do it, didn't you? Let me tell you how that conversation goes down if the Bernie Sanders show calls our show and says, I want to do an interview, but Jimmy Dore can't be there, just Steph Zamorano. It would be, hey, sorry, go fuck yourself. Thank you very much. What? Why, what? You don't want me on the show? Why?
We're not friends. I'm not gonna do your interview now. We don't like each other enough. Like, this is high school popularity contest type drama. Like, come on, man.
All I'm saying is I don't want the fucking one guy on the show.
sure was
You wanna do
canceled.
that?
All right,
Yeah,
move
I don't
on.
want to do that because I actually have a fucking spine and I'm not a nut.
Yeah, I have a
watch him fuck my
spine.
show.
I have a spine. I sit here and get nothing done and help nobody. That is how you have
Wait a
spine.
minute, you don't want soccer either.
Yeah, curse words are comedy. I said an edgy joke. I said an edgy word. That was Jimmy Dore's comedy. That's why you like Joe Rogan too. If you look at Joe Rogan comedy specials, they aren't terrible, but a lot of his jokes are just saying words that are not acceptable by the masses or whatever. You know, saying edgy words. It's not real comedy. It's laziness. It's lazy comedy, dude.
So Bernie came back and made Kyle a cut.
That's exactly.
Of course, Aaron Mate. Aaron Mate, of course.
I'm gonna cuck the whole fucking YouTube community.
What? What are they talking about? How many times are they gonna say C-U-C-K?
Because you all remind me of that fucking Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And it's painful. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's super painful. Here we go. You
Let's
ready?
see
Here we go.
the criticisms.
He is prepared to deal with. I have not seen a president in my lifetime who has done that. Am I wrong?
Okay.
I think I talked about this part already. I don't think I'm gonna go all the way through it. So Bernie Sanders does the normal, actual understanding politics thing. He said Biden has done more than any president in his lifetime, which is true. Is Biden perfect? Is Biden as good as he could be idealistically? No, but comparatively to other presidents, yeah, he's doing a lot. The initiatives that we want to get done are largely getting done with like infrastructure and everything, which is more to be said about a lot of presidents. If you have to look at the other Democratic presidents, Carter, Clinton, Gore, just kidding, he lost. Kerry, just kidding, he lost. Obama, you have to look at these guys and really look at what they did. When was Bernie Sanders born? I guess he would have been alive during like LBJ. But even I brought up LBJ last time I reacted to the Kyle and Crystal video, which I never put it up on my channel. I guess I'll put this up in place. But LBJ had the entire government working for Democrats. Joe Biden's position, where it's a 50-50 Senate and a slight majority in the House, is much more, and stacked Supreme Court is much more difficult than any position that like FDR or LBJ was in. When it came to getting stuff done. It's not like LBJ or FDR were like to the left of Joe Biden. That 100% is not true.
Hold on. You gotta. I understand your
Oh yeah, I know you meant the room Jimmy Dore's in, yeah.
upsetness, but we have to save the booing till after the video clip plays.
He was born in 41.
Because we'll have a joke for it.
Started from the beginning.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
He is prepared to deal with. I have not seen a president in my lifetime who has done that. Am I wrong?
I see that perspective, but I also see a president who's willing to let a lot of those agenda items be killed by the filibuster and the parliamentarian.
But again, I don't want to defend him. I think.
Two things Biden does not have control over: the filibuster and the parliamentarian. You can't just. I know Kyle Kalinske says you can move 8 senators by like promising each of them different things. That's not how it works. That simply isn't how it works, dude. You can't go to Joe Manchin and just say like, "Hey, we're gonna give your state $50 billion. Have fun, buddy." That's not how this ever is gonna happen, dude.
The point you made a few minutes ago is exactly right. In this critical moment, when we're dealing with the future of the planet, when we're dealing with the future of democracy, you know what? I think majority should rule and not the. I believe that strongly.
What the fuck does that mean? I believe that what? What? Here we go.
But don't think that
He believes majority should rule, which means a majority of the country, and the Senate isn't representing the majority of the country. because the Democratic senators, although it's 50-50, represent 40 million more people. And the American people in general voted for Democrats by 7 million votes with Joe Biden.
He can snap his fingers, no matter what he may or may not believe, and make things happen. All right, there are senators.
Yes, he can. I don't know if you know, but Joe Biden could slap his fingers right now under Section 1881A and give everybody Medicare for all. He could do that right now.
That's not true. What he can do, excuse me, what he can do is the student loan debt stuff. He can cancel student loan debt. It would have to survive a couple legal challenges, but he probably could do that. He could cancel definitely some student loan debt, 50K, maybe even 10K, what he promised. Biden just now, unilaterally a couple days ago, canceled all student loan debt for permanently disabled people who went to college. So if you are permanently disabled and you have student loan debt, it got erased by the Biden admin. 324,000 borrowers. The debt was gone. Biden did that with the swipe of a pen.
Now.
Yeah, since when could Medicare for All be done by executive order, by the way? I never even heard that before.
And the crowd goes wild.
Look at this idiot. Look at his face, bro. Oh my god.
Goes wild.
Yeah, you made such a good point right there.
Joe Biden can snap his fingers and give us student debt relief. Joe Biden can snap his fingers and reschedule marijuana. There's a lot of shit Joe Biden.
Oh god, dude. I used to buy into the argument for marijuana, but even if Biden rescheduled marijuana, he can't deschedule it. The president cannot deschedule anything. That would have to be done through Congress. He can reschedule it. It'll still be under the Controlled Substances Act, which means the current regulations wouldn't change. It would still have to be done on a state-by-state level when it comes to legalizing marijuana. He can move it away from the same category as like heroin and meth. He can do that. But that wouldn't automatically legalize it across the country if Biden did do that. Yeah, that's Aaron Monte.
By snapping his fucking fingers, and Bernie is what he's doing is running interference for the establishment. Why? Because Bernie is the establishment now.
Bernie is the establishment. What a good take. What a good take, bro.
Jimmy, they let.
Wow, it's not like Bernie Sanders is trying to get the biggest infrastructure plan in American history in the past 70 years through or anything. By far the biggest infrastructure plan when it comes to human infrastructure. Sorry, we've had infrastructure before. We've never had this investment in human infrastructure before. If Bernie Sanders can even get through $2 trillion in the budget reconciliation package, that is Bernie Sanders' goal right now, working within how things actually work instead of just like yelling.
The Senate parliamentarian who works for them kill the $15 minimum wage, who works for them.
Yeah, I think he did the permanently disabled thing because it's really easy politically. It's kind of like a test run to see how people perceive it. Because who's going to argue against that? It's hard to.
Whatever he wants.
I know. What everybody knows that was pretend. They set it up. Oh, look at this parliamentarian you never heard of is actually the one controlling everything. Son of a bitch. I wish Joe Biden would have ran for parliamentarian.
What does it mean to run for parliamentarian? Like, he just says words. It's like he thinks it's a bunch of like video game characters. Yeah, if people from our movement get power, they're no longer part of our movement. It's amazing, dude. It's amazing. Is there a non-human infrastructure? I mean, yes, technically. If you're not investing directly to people, I guess that's what that means. You're not going to give money to people through college or whatever, and childcare, and education. But yeah, every politician that is successful is obviously corrupt. How else did they get successful? Of course.
Then we'd have a living wage. What the fuck were they thinking?
Biden made it $15 for federal workers, and he talks about it a lot. He literally said to a small business owner's face on CNN, "Brother, if you want workers, you need to pay $15 an hour." He literally said that to somebody. That looked terrible politically, but he still did it. He still advocates for a $15 minimum wage. That's a big success. I don't know if anybody's been alive the past 20 years. I have barely been alive the past 20 years, but we've made a lot of progress.
Oh, if only they would have ran for parliament. Here we go.
There are certain things he could do, though, through executive, for example, canceling student.
Even if the parliamentarian was like Karl Marx themselves, like with a budget bill, if you're not directly spending money on it, it probably would not have gone through. Like even if the parliamentarian was Karl Marx and they said, okay, $15 minimum wage, that's going to be on there, it wouldn't have mattered because we would have had literally 8 Democratic senators vote against it if it had the $15 minimum wage on it, on the reconciliation bill. So like, cool.
Debt.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There are things they can.
Legalizing marijuana,
Yes.
he could potentially do through executive order.
False. I don't know why Bernie thinks that. Bernie has to know he can't legalize marijuana himself.
You know, do I sound like Richard Nixon right now? I don't know why I fucking sound like Richard Nixon.
What?
You know, Joe Biden is not a crook. I'll tell you that. He's not a fucking crook. Joe Biden's my good friend. He's my good friend.
Is he making fun of, like, what? Why?
Spiro Agnew is a fucking decent guy.
So there hasn't been a willingness, even though he says, yes, I support the $15 minimum wage, yes, I support the PRO Act,
He's
to
done
use
many
all the tools that
things,
are at
bro.
his disposal to actually make those things happen.
What can he do for the pro? Oh my God, dude. Joe Biden can't just rule America with an iron fist. He's not Mussolini. He's not a dictator. He can't just unilaterally pass these things, bro.
You're absolutely sure of that.
Is that fair?
Yes.
He's saying Bernie sounds
yes,
like Nixon.
Guess what, Bernie? I have a room full of 600 people right here. Are you guys sure about?
I have a room full of. Hey, guess what? We have a chat full of 40 people. Wait, no. Try like. Yeah, we have a chat full of 46 people right now. Do you guys think Jimmy Dore's an idiot? Haha, got him. Wow, we have 600 people in the room. Good job, Jimmy Dore. That's basically the entire country. What a sample size. What a sample. What a selective sample.
No. Are you guys sure that Bernie's bullshitting us?
Yeah, woo, Bernie sucks. He's corrupt.
Has Bernie turned into a...
Nina Turner's also a crook. So is Cori Bush and AOC. They're simply in this for their own profits. Oh my God. They're co-opted by the establishment. No.
Gaslighting establishment fucking tool? Sorry, Bernie. But you broke my heart, Fredo. You broke my fucking heart.
They're all co-opted.
I mean, in other words, you do not know about the discussions that he has with people who walk into his office.
So this is the old style. You don't know what he's doing. I know what the fucking result is, Bernie, and the result is we don't have a living wage, we don't have health care, and fucking 80% of workers are bankrupt in the richest country in the fucking world. That's what I know is happening. What are you fucking doing? What are you...
Obviously nothing. Bernie Sanders is doing nothing. He's sitting right now in his $10 billion mansion, literally just like kicking poor kids. That's all Bernie Sanders is doing with his days. He's saying, I hate poor people. He's saying, workers of the world, you suck. Bernie Sanders hates working class people. And Bernie Sanders has spent the last 80 years of his life, which is his entire life, fighting against the working man. Bernie Sanders, obviously, at the age of 78, took a turn for the worse. Took a turn to the worst possible reality. Bernie Sanders is now Adam Smith, part 2. Which, by the way, Adam Smith wasn't even that crazy. Him and Marx agreed on a lot. I should use a different example. Bernie Sanders is Herbert Hoover, reincarnate.
How are you pushing him left?
Jimmy, but Ron...
Bernie should physically push Joe Biden left. Next time they're standing next to each other, just like push him over. Just like, just yeet him to the left. Yeet Biden to the left, baby.
Claim Biden's chief of staff, and you've covered this, he's liking some progressives' tweets. Boom. Boom. The guy that gave us that. Boom.
That's a great point. It takes a Canadian to see something like that.
Oh my God. He's right. Tom MacDonald is a Canadian. That's why Tom MacDonald dominates me at all angles. Ooh.
I know how much I like it when somebody famous like Norm Macdonald liked a tweet from mine the other day, and oh my God, I was pissy happy. Here we go.
No, it's wrong to assume that when you're dealing with a United States senator who does not want to end the filibuster, that he can go in there and say, hey, I want you to do that. No. So don't give the president...
Although he could do what you proposed when you were asked on the trail, how would you deal with Senator Manchin? You said, I go to West Virginia. I do the rally.
Yeah, Joe Biden is gonna go, like, do the Mussolini speech. Workers of the world unite. We must come together as one nation against the corrupt. Yeah, the audience pays to listen to it. There is a reason Bernie Sanders isn't doing this now. Bernie Sanders isn't going to West Virginia and calling Joe Manchin an idiot for an obvious reason, and that obvious reason, and for the same reason, even if Joe Biden wanted to, it wouldn't work. You need Joe Manchin to, like, vote for your reconciliation bill. So, like, you can't just, like, do it. You can't just do the bill. You have to get people to vote for it. So if you go to Joe Manchin's voters and you're like, hey, Joe Manchin, he's a little baby. Joe Manchin's a little poopy baby. He's an idiot. Joe Manchin doesn't like you. You know what Joe Biden's not going to do? There is no way in hell he's going to support your bill. And he's going to drive that shit down to the very bottom. Even worse than he already was going to do. Now it's personal. Now, oh my God, you are completely done. Whatever goodwill you had, whatever $2 trillion plan you were going to get, is now going to be 1.5, 1.5. Like, that's just how you just can't do that. It's fun to talk like this when you're on the campaign trail. We're going to go knock on their door and kick it down. Like, it's fun to talk like that. It's what you envision. Like, you know, this would be so fun and cool. It's like a movie. We're just gonna go and get everybody in the streets so angry. We demand human infrastructure. Like, dude, that's not how this whole thing happens.
I'd call him out.
Right. I mean, there are things...
I mean, I was bullshitting when I said that. What the fuck? You gonna hold me to the shit I said? I mean, come on, I'm a cuck now for fucking Joe Biden, and you know that. Look at your friend in the corner. He knows how to cuck. I mean, we all have to cock sometimes. That's all I'm saying, Crystal. We have to walk a cock.
All that I'm
It's
saying,
so sad. It's funny. It's so embarrassing. It's actually really funny.
not minimize. I mean, and I don't want to get into personalities, but
Because Joe Biden's personality is fucking indefensible. That's why you don't want to get into it.
People like Joe Biden. People like him. Everybody I know likes Joe Biden, other than, like, really hardcore people who are like, the election was stolen still, but people generally like Joe Biden, dude.
A racist, megalomaniac, pathological, fucking warmongering liar.
Dude, these, if you say that to a Democratic voter, they're literally just gonna, like, turn around and try to get away from the crazy person.
Who you now act like is your boss instead of someone who you're supposed to fucking influence and drag to the left. That's who Joe Biden is, and that's why you don't want to get into fucking personalities, because you can't fucking fend it.
any member of the United States Senate has the power to kill this thing.
Yeah,
And
so
to think that the president alone can change that is not 100% correct.
Sure.
boy, if only the president was in a position of power, maybe Joe Biden should run for Senate against Joe Manchin next time.
What? Only if Joe Biden was in a position of power. What kind of power? Like, what? And
then we could get some.
We can just like. This is what Michael Brooks meant when he said. Well, him and Sam Cedar would say this a lot together at the same time. They would say like Jimmy Dore teaches people to think dumb. They have no regard for what's happening in reality, and by they I mean the people here. Like, oh, Joe Biden has presidential power. Dude, he doesn't have the power to do that. And we don't want a president that has the power to like unilaterally do that much. We don't want a president to need that much unilateral power. Generally speaking, a president having too much unilateral power isn't wanted because that usually means they need to use unilateral power. So, for example, FDR had a lot of leeway to use unilateral power with like national. I'm getting tired. I'm gonna stop soon. With national emergency stuff, he had to act with all the war powers and shit. Unilateral power is for quick actions and actions that can't be done sloppily through Congress or whatever. You don't really want a system where a president needs to use executive power all the time, is what I'm saying.
Shit done. Apparently, Joe Manchin is the puppet master, and fucking, guess what? Bernie has just as much power as Joe Manchin, but it's weird Joe Manchin uses his power.
Okay, it's not how it works. I have to go to bed, though. I'm tired. We know this is not how it works. Joe Biden and Bernie and Manchin, they're not... If you say, like, everybody in the Senate has the exact same power because they all have one vote, you're just an idiot, dude. You're just dumb. You're just like you're just looking at the numbers like, oh, each one vote? Oh, each vote means the same thing. Wow. Joe Biden or Joe Manchin is an obstructionist. So even if Bernie Sanders wanted to hold up things Joe Manchin wanted, what is he going to hold up? What is Joe Manchin pushing for in the Senate that Bernie Sanders can hold up as budget chair? Like, whatever. Yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you all for Thank you so much for hanging out and dropping likes and all that stuff. I'll drop the Discord link real quick. Say hi to the kitchen. My college kitchen. Let me get the Discord link out here. Thank you. See if anybody wants to join the Discord. It needs to load. My laptop's slow. So let me get this all launched. Don't leave yet. I gotta... Oh, wait. I could do it on my phone. Let me do it on the phone. Yeah, I can't stream that long. I get tired. I start talking. Oh, at least I'm tired now. Maybe a different day. Right now, just a little busy. I'm keeping the channel going longer than I thought I would, though, so... I have a lot of videos I need to put up this week. Hopefully they gain some traction. I feel like that hot take video with Hassan and Vaush is going to get some good play. Thank you. I'll try to keep it going. Thanks for all the compliments. Here's the Discord link. Everybody have a good rest of your night. If you have any chat topics, you can put it in a general chat. There's like 5 people in there that always respond to everything and to fight about it, so join them.